Joining us now to give us some insight into what police investigating is doing right now, we turn to former FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindaffer. Jennifer, can you kind of walk us through this investigation? What are police doing right now to find the suspect?
Well, right now, it is a full-on, full-scale manhunt for this person. That means local, state, and federal authorities are putting everything they have into finding this person. This is going to include trying to find any and all video surveillance that might be from neighboring businesses, from individuals that were there that might shed some clues. In addition, all of these individuals and spectators, they are going to be interviewed one by one to see what they might have seen at this location. In addition, they are going to be taking tips from all over this area regarding perhaps friends, family that saw something odd in the behavior of their loved one that could have been the person that committed this. They're also going to be looking closely at that rifle. Where did it originate? What hands did it cross? Where was it sold? And how did it get into the hands of this shooter?
Jennifer, about that rifle, law enforcement is really not telling us much about it. Can you explain why law enforcement would do something like this?
Well, there's no reason to really keep the particular details regarding that rifle undisclosed. We do know, at least from my understanding, there were 20 shot bursts and multiple bursts, which would, to me, indicate possibly a semi-automatic rifle situation. They have described it as a high-powered rifle, but certainly it was able to harm 32 individuals quite quickly and still allow this perpetrator to be able to flee the scene without being arrested or noticed by people passing by, people involved in this incident.
Jen, we are in the 6th hour of this manhunt. Of course, this suspect, he's got a huge head start. We know beaches in the area most likely closed down, the streets closed down, shopping centers, several areas closed down. How large of a manhunt is this?
Oh, it's going to go for miles and miles. Listen, he could be from Chicago. He could be from any of these neighboring areas. They just don't know. But they are going to be on full force with all their manpower. And again, this being on mainstream media and social media, everyone being alert for this 18 to 20-year-old wearing a blue shirt, at least at that time. And then hopefully law enforcement will be able to pick through the photos that were taken, video that was taken, and give the public more information so that all can be on the lookout.
18 to their 20s. We saw it in Buffalo, New York. I was covering that. Uvalde, Texas as well. We saw warning signs in those shootings. Do you believe that there was warning signs in this one?
I believe there were. It might not be other than people who were close to him, but I think you are going to find once he's apprehended, and he will be apprehended, there will be people and indicators of what he was going to do, either on his social media, in his writings, or things he said to loved ones or close associates.
Jen, Canada is close, very close. Is there any likelihood that you think somebody of this age, of this stature, that could make his way there?
Well, it depends on how familiar he is with that area. People like this tend to stay and hide within the realm that they know. Now, if he was completely premeditated in this action beyond just what he was going to do, but rather what he was going to do after he did it, it is possible that he would have made plans to leave across the border. But I would believe, based on my training and experience, he is still somewhere in that Chicago area, in and around there.
And Jen, real quick, lastly, how important is it that witnesses, surveillance camera, that it all comes forward?
Oh, it's imperative. Anyone who was at that parade needs to look at their camera footage, their video footage, everything on their phones. And this is why they might have been taking a picture of a friend or of something in the parade, and in the background, this person could be sighted. So no detail is too small. If you see someone in that video that doesn't seem correct, get that to the authorities immediately.
Jen Coffindaffer, thank you. If you see something, say something. We'll be right back after this.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.